Just to give you a perspective, the iPhone 8 Plus was released in September 2017, while the iPhone 7 Plus in September 2016. So there's a full 1-year gap between the two. And of course, people are asking questions such as, shall I upgrade from the iPhone 7 Plus to the iPhone 8 Plus, or which one should I buy, the iPhone 7 Plus or the iPhone 8 Plus? And of course, the very basic question, just tell me which one is better for me. And of course, in this video, we will do a deep dive by looking at every aspect of these smartphones and deliver a crystal clear answer to settle the matters with precision. First, we will dissect everything one by one, and in the end, we will tie everything together into a conclusion. Now, before we dive in, if you do use Instagram or Twitter, make sure to follow me on both at SakiTechOnline. Now let's dive in and start with the build and design. As far as the design of these two products goes, they are literally identical with some microscopic differences on the overall dimensions. Take a look at the dimensions. The 8 Plus measures 158.4 millimeters in height, 78.1 millimeters wide, and 7.5 millimeters thick. It weighs 202 grams, while the iPhone 7 Plus measures 158.2 millimeters in height, 77.9 millimeters wide, and 7.3 millimeters thick. It weighs 188 grams. As you can see from those numbers and the actual side-by-side demonstration, these products are identical in overall design. And although there's a slight microscopic variation in dimensions, an iPhone 8 will fit perfectly in an iPhone 7 case. If you notice, however, the weight difference is slightly more pronounced, and the reason behind that has to do with the actual build materials. This is where the two phones differ, as the iPhone 7 is constructed with all-around aluminum materials in a unibody format, while the iPhone 8 is constructed out of glass panels on the front and the rear, but surrounded by a metal band around the perimeter. The glass build is what adds some of that extra weight to the iPhone 8. There really is no way to assign a win here based on build materials, since both the aluminum and glass builds offer a premium sensation. Some people may prefer the smooth and solid aluminum build, while other people might prefer the shiny and reflective glass build. Either phone will exude a premium in-hand sensation. However, the glass build does offer two downsides. It will be a fingerprint magnet, and it will be more prone to cracks and shatters if it drops on a rigid surface. Now, all around we have the same buttons and ports, and if you look at the bottom, you have the Lightning port and speakers. Both phones have dual speakers with stereo sound. The difference is that the iPhone 8's speakers are now 25% louder than the iPhone 7's speakers. iPhone 7 already had best-in-class speakers, and the iPhone 8 simply improved upon that. Both iPhones will offer IP67 grade water resistance, so you are fully protected from dust, sand, water splashes, and rain showers. And finally, one big difference is that the iPhone 8 now comes with Bluetooth 5.0 instead of Bluetooth 4.2, which is going to deliver better Bluetooth performance overall, especially in terms of extended range, higher data transfer speeds via Bluetooth, and the ability to add multiple wireless devices to the iPhone 8 that could be active simultaneously, such as two wireless headphones. And one final thing, both iPhones come with the exact same second generation Touch ID sensor built into the home button. So in this category, it seems that the iPhone 8 does have a slight lead. Like we said, from a purely build and design perspective, we are at a draw. However, the iPhone 8 has louder speakers and Bluetooth 5.0. Now let's move on to the processor and memory. The iPhone 7 has a powerful quad-core A10 Fusion processor with 3 GB of RAM and comes with 32 GB of storage on the base model. You do have the ability to purchase the 128 GB version for a premium. The iPhone 8 has an even more powerful A11 Bionic processor, also with 3 GB of RAM, and comes with 64 GB of storage on the base model, but you can also get it with 256 GB. Now, looking at these Geekbench benchmarks, it is clear that the iPhone 8 is much faster in raw processing power than the iPhone 7. Apple also says there is a 30% increase in graphics performance as well. These power levels just blow expectations. The iPhone 8 is already a powerhouse, capable of recording 4K movies with ease, running graphically stunning games without a hiccup, but the iPhone 8 has even more power. This power will most likely translate to even better looking games and some great artificial reality experiences via apps. So So clearly the iPhone 8 has a massive lead here, but it must be noted that the iPhone 7 is no slouch as it can run heavy-duty apps as smooth as butter already. We will talk more about this towards the conclusion to tie it all together, but for now let's move on and talk about that display. Alright, so the display size and display resolution are identical on both. The 7 Plus has a 5.5-inch LCD IPS 3D touch enabled display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080 and 401 pixels per inches, so does the iPhone 8 Plus. They also happen to have the same maximum brightness, which is rated at 625 nits, as well as the same color gamut. So expect the same level of visibility and quality from both displays no matter what you do. The only extra feature that the iPhone 8 has is the True Tone display option, which can be enabled via software settings. True Tone simply adjusts the white balance based on the ambient light, which gives you a better viewing experience in all kinds of environments. It's great to have, but it's not a killer feature. So in this category, just about everything is equal but for that True Tone feature. Now let's talk about the software. Both the iPhone 7 and 8 run the same exact software, which is iOS 11, with the exact same features including all kinds of 3D touch capabilities. iOS 11 runs smoothly and with exceptional stability on both phones for everyday use. We will also get access to AR, which is artificial reality capabilities, on both smartphones. Though I'm pretty sure the extra power on the iPhone 8 might deliver a greater experience. But as far as overall experience, including fantastic gaming capabilities, we have a complete and total draw. Now let's talk about the camera. So on paper we have identical specs. Firstly, the front cameras are literally identical with 7 megapixels each and an aperture of f2.2, and as usual they're great for millions of useless selfies and video conferencing. As for the rear cameras, again we have a primary 12 megapixel camera with an aperture of f1.8 and a secondary 12 megapixel telephoto camera with an aperture of f2.8. And although the specs are identical on the rear, there are actually some improvements on the iPhone 8. It actually has a larger and faster internal camera sensor that allows for more light to be absorbed. This means you will get even crisper, sharper photos in daytime and better low-light performance and dynamic range. Nobody's saying that the iPhone 7 camera will disappoint, but the iPhone 8 will be better. And it's not just in photos that the iPhone 8 improves. You can also record 4K video on the iPhone 8 at 60 frames per second. The iPhone 7 can still record in 4K, but only at 30 frames per second. Additionally, the iPhone 8 can record slow motion video at 1080p at 240 frames per second, which is quite amazing, while the iPhone 7 can record 1080p slow motion at 120 frames per second. So overall, yes, the iPhone 8 has a better rear camera. It has a new sensor and improved image processing. It also has an enhanced portrait mode known as the Portrait Lightning, which can create some studio-style photos of people using advanced software techniques. So is the camera upgrade massive? Probably not for the average consumer, which most of us are, but the improvement is there. I would say that an average user who is not hell-bent on every little minute detail won't really care about the camera too much, especially because the iPhone 7 camera is still a top-rated camera. But just be aware that the iPhone 8 has a lead. Anyway, let's move on to the battery and battery-related features. In this category, we have some brand new additions instead of incremental upgrades. First off, both iPhones will give you a full day of use for medium use, and perhaps you may have to plug it into a charger if you're a heavy-duty user, but the bottom line is that they are going to offer pretty identical battery life. Now, iPhone 8 actually outdoes the iPhone 7 with a slight margin of 30 minutes to an hour thanks to that newer, more efficient A11 Bionic processor. And that's not really the highlight here in this category. The real thing is that thanks to that glass back on the new iPhone 8, it is now capable of charging wirelessly using the wireless Qi standard. So you can pick up any wireless charger that uses the Qi standard and you can start to charge your iPhone 8 without any wires. It's not a new option on the market, but it's a great option to have regardless. So in this category, the iPhone 8 once again has a lead, not in battery life, but in that additional wireless charging option. Now let's talk about some pricing and colors and then move on to a crystal clear conclusion. So the iPhone 8 Plus costs $799 for the 64GB model while the iPhone 7 Plus costs $669 for the 32GB model. The price difference here is under $30, which is justifiable. The 8 comes in 3 colors, gold, silver, and space gray, while the 7 comes in 5 colors, jet black, matte black, gold, silver, and rose gold. So that's the price, and now let's end this discussion. So let's start by listing everything that the iPhone 8 either has or has improved over the iPhone 7. iPhone 8 has a higher base storage of 64GB and the new and more powerful A11 Bionic chip. iPhone 8 has an improved camera with a larger sensor which can perform slightly better in photography and much better in videography with options such as 4K recording at 60 frames per second, an option not even some expensive cameras offer. iPhone 8 has wireless charging, and finally iPhone 8 has 25% louder sounding stereo speakers and Bluetooth 5.0. And that's it. So, if you already own an iPhone 7, there is absolutely no need to upgrade. iPhone 7 still has a powerful processor capable of handling any task with ease. It has a top-rated camera. Most people just use the cameras to take photos and basic video anyway, so the 4K option at 60 frames per second is great to have, but it's not going to be a common use scenario. Other than that, both smartphones look identical. They are IP67 grade water resistant. They offer great battery life. They have the same Touch ID fingerprint sensor and a smooth and consistent software experience. Now, if you're coming from anything lower than an iPhone 7, such as an iPhone 6 or 6S, do upgrade directly to the iPhone 8 as the upgrade effect will be significant. But if you upgrade from the iPhone 7 to the iPhone 8, the upgrade effect will be minimal. Now, what if you are in the market to make a choice between the two, the 7 and the 8? Then you should probably get the iPhone 8. It's $150 more expensive, but it does come with 64GB of internal storage as opposed to 32GB for the iPhone 7's base model. Bottom line is, if you already have the iPhone 7, you're in a great position. The only true upgrade you should consider is the iPhone X, unless it is out of your price range. And that's the story. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, just drop them down below in the comments section and hopefully we can get it addressed. And of course, make sure to subscribe to Saki Tech, give this video a thumbs up, and if you use Instagram or Twitter, make sure to follow me on both at Saki Tech Online. Have a fantastic day.